think we're on the internet. I think it's working.
I got a notification for it.
Hooray! Maybe ambience would be better. Abstracted layers. That sounds right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Rookzer0. Today I'm joined with the bluest of druids. I don't know if I should say it like that. It's like, that'd be like saying I'm the rookest of zeros. Which, maybe that makes sense. Maybe I am the rookest of zeros. I don't know. That is kind of a bonus content episode because I was sick earlier in the week and I didn't really stream a whole lot. But today we are going to be doing an art study, a photo study. This is a sketch by Frank Frazetta. Woo, stream hype. Hello, hello. Welcome, Nebby. So this is one of Frank Frazetta's pencil sketches of the Death Dealer, I believe. I'm not sure. That might be someone else because that says Your 06. This might be someone's sketch of the Death Dealer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Druid, I think you've led me astray.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look because I'm
such a bad person. Oh no.
Yeah. I think we're doing a study of a study.
Well, I mean, good on the person because they mimic his style pretty damn well.
I looked at this one and I was like, hey, this one's a little different. I think we should do that one. So maybe that's why the pencil lines are slightly off. Let's see if we can find some actual sketches of this.
Yeah. And that was all good that I helped prepare. Damn. Oh well.
That's okay. There's been a lot of people who have who've drawn this. Here's the original sketch.
Yeah, I just found it too.
Is a $5 print of it? That doesn't make sense. Death Dealer by Nat Jones. So many people have drawn this character, and it's great because of it.
Yeah, Disney. Actually applying your intellectual property right doesn't make your property more valuable, it makes it less.
I think I found the artist who did this sketch. Maybe that's a cool way to do it. This is by Alley Cat Garden. On maybe not. No, I think this is another. This person is attributing this picture to Frezetta as well. And the link they have to the original is not there. So cool. Cool.
And fucking tastic.
Pinterest. I hate you. This, if anything, this is a cautionary tale to
Think your fucking sources, people.
Yeah. Cautionary tale. Death Dealer by Frank Frazetta. Yep.
Ugh.
I mean, there's another one here, but it's not the one I want to use. Of the Death Dealer. Death Dealer's still pretty great.
Yeah.
Let's see, what other images did you send me? Maybe we can find one that's actually by Frezetta. We'll go from there.
One of Conan.
Conan's good.
It's a black and white. Both of those, both of the paintings, they are a little risque.
Yeah, because we are on YouTube today, I don't know if I can do the booty ones. Which
I mean,
I like the booty ones, but we did a booty one
Yeah.
last time, so
she's covered. The upper one is, I believe it's called A Princess of Mars, not to be confused with The Princess of Mars.
which I think Frazetta did the cover for the Princess of Mars book.
Yeah,
Um,
did. Did a lot of stuff for Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yeah.
I suppose it's not really surprising because Burroughs was kind of the most prolific kind of fantasy and sci-fi writer of that time period.
Okay.
All of his books read pretty much exactly the same, though.
Yeah. Livestream it. All right, there we go. That's a real Frazetta sketch. 83. 83. Love it. All right, so let's do that. We're gonna go with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Today we're just gonna do some doodles. We're gonna do some doodles. We're gonna sketch. We're gonna talk about it. I probably don't need it to be that big. I can probably give you some more space. Probably do something like that. But like, so good. So good. Should we put it like in the middle? That would be helpful.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm gonna do that. Sure. Why not? Why not? What happens if I make these a multiply layer? Nothing. Nothing for nobody. I should probably warm up with a rugby. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I've been warm up with some stick figures before we started because again, trying to be prepared.
Yeah. The other thing I'm going to do with this today is I'm going to drop the density of my pencil down. And I'm probably going to keep my pencil at about, I want to guess like 4 pixels, 2, 3 pixels. Like I don't want, you see how like the size of the pencil sketch there? I'm trying to match that. So I'm going to try to do that. We're going to see how that goes. So let's get a nice little barbarian rugby going. As our warm up.
I think I'm probably gonna stick with my usual style and start with the silhouette and build from there. So I don't think I'll be trying to copy as much.
Sure,
Mostly, mostly I'm interested in learning a little bit about his approach to like shadow shapes and color blocking.
And I think that's a good idea. I think that is a really good idea. I'm not going to try to copy this one-to-one, but I am very much going to try to copy the layer styles or the pencil lines. That's that's my goal for the day. So, which is why starting with a rugby, I think we're going to do that. And honestly, I think this pencil is too light, so I'm going to put my density back up a little bit.
By the way, for anybody watching who wants to learn how to draw what we just did, like aligning basically our goals with this study, like that's a good thing to do. Gonna give him the helmet.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the helmet. Yeah, there's a kind of a thing. I think we always have to talk about when we do a study is the copying effect. A lot of times when you start doing art, your teachers will be like, don't copy people, don't steal people's stuff, now copy this thing 50 times. And that's pretty common and confusing to people because what they want you to do is learn how and why things are done a certain way and then apply that to your art. And one of the only ways to do that is to really look at how it was done before and emulate it, right? Like that's pretty common. A lot of traditional artists, like famous traditional artists, made their livings by making counterfeit art, because there's no prints, right? You can't just order a print of something. So if someone's like, hey, I really like that, can you paint it the way they painted it? And that's how they learned how to paint. Like that's what they were paid to do. And then their work became famous later, usually not during the better chunk of their lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, in certain areas, like that is still a huge industry, is people hand making copies, especially in areas of the world where there's a lot of history
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of tourism. Like, for
Yeah.
example, there's a really famous Tunis vase from, I can't remember which dynasty, but it's from Korea, and like at least 60% of the master potters in Korea make their livings by making copies, making duplicates of that vase and selling it to tourists.
Yeah. And I think that's what, like, the thing to look at there is that, once again, it's totally fine to make a replica or a copy or a yeah, I think it's a replica or a copy is a good way to put it. It's okay to do that as long as that's what it is. Like, you have to be honest with people about that, right? It's like, look, I drew a Frezetta. It's like, no, you didn't. You like, that's definitely rugby in a helmet. But that kind of study stuff is good. It's important to do that kind of stuff.
So just be aware that when you're copying something, it's not your Sonic OC.
Yeah.
Can't change one tiny thing about it and say this is my OC, completely original, nobody copy. So
So we're definitely gonna get out there and try some stuff, but remember to, it's totally fine to say, hey, I did a study. I used this as my reference, and I tried to emulate it in my style, or I was trying to do this style, and that's its own thing. Like, that's a great piece of art, and there are people that just do that professionally. Like, that's all they do. Just, I think the honesty about it is the important part. God, just having that reference of the helmet is so, like, look at the little details on the helmet.
yeah, it's crazy, right?
Maybe I'll just spend my whole time turning rugby into this guy. Maybe I won't even.
Arms. Rugby has no arms.
That's a good point. I always forget that about rugby. Because he just exists.
It's kind of funny to me, considering it's the only thing you're adamant about.
It's just part of rugby, though. I don't see him as a armless goblin. You just don't see him. God, that jawline. It's superhero jawline. Frezetta always does. So good.
Yeah. Very square, very blocky. It is one of my favorite things to see, to study Frazetta and kind of start to see areas where it seems like other more contemporary, more modern illustrators have copied him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. My warm-up's getting me nowhere. I'm just gonna dive in.
Something I noticed about a lot of Frezetta's work is when he does eyes, it's almost just points. Like, in a lot of his work, his eyes are just very, very muted out or very dark. Lots of eyeshadow and eyeliner. I was waiting for the stream over on Twitch like an idiot. I failed to realize basic information. Sorry. Yeah, I know Fridays is usually Friday do whatever the fuck I want day on Twitch, but today I wanted to do I promised Druid we do some Frezetta Fridays for February. Which I want to put on YouTube because I feel like we didn't get to hang out on YouTube very long this last 2 weeks. Oh, I done fucked it up already. There we go.
That head angle is pretty steep.
Should I give Rugby really buff legs?
Yes. Yes. I mean, you totally called me out for having him drink a potion of giant strength and getting swole, so
Sure.
totally want to see a version of Rugby with super barbarian eyes.
Barbarian thighs? Yeah, we can do barbarian thighs. I done covered up his feet. Now I don't have the original image anymore. There we go. Just big chunks. Big black blocky chunks. Running over Raptor. Overrunning with Raptors. That's a good name too. I'm currently fixated on the art of Sean Martinborough because Oh Boy Noir comic style is lit as hell. I'm not familiar with that one. If you want to post some of that in like the art share or something, that'd be really cool.
Up.
Yeah, noir art is pretty neat. It's like having that really harsh lighting, very solid blocking. I like it. Same thing with like the 300 comics and Sin City. Lots of Frank Miller stuff is that way. Very, very solid black. Like knocked in their stuff that I really, really liked. And every time I've ever tried it, I've not been happy with it. I just like, I don't know if my brain doesn't capture it quite right, or I need a very little bit of gradation, which is weird because I don't like using like soft brushes or blenders. So somewhere in there, my brain is weird, but you know, to each their own.
I think I managed to pull off that sort of super black and white once, and it was specifically for a graphic design class assignment.
Funny.
Never managed to duplicate my success. Really frustrating.
Lord. That is sad. Am I on a different layer? I am on the wrong layer. Dang it. Dang it. Fixed it.
Okay, back to drawing. Martin Bro stuff is cool.
Oh yeah. It's pretty good.
Am I reading this right? Over Raptor, you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong. He's writer for Red Hood currently, or was that posted?
We got some Captain America in there. It looks like we got.
I see some Batman.
Well, that might not be Batman. There's no cape or chest plate, so that could be Daredevil. No, there's Batman. I see Batman in there. You're right. Batman. We got Hellboy, which is fun.
Yeah, love me some Hellboy.
Look at this scribbly garbage that's everywhere in here.
All over in the fur and the cape.
Yeah. Just like
just scribbling for texture in super dark.
I tell people all the time, like, oh, don't draw all the hairs. Then Frezetta's just like, I fucking draw all the hairs.
Well, there's a difference between like very carefully drawing all of the hairs like this, and, you know, just going like looks like Frazetta did.
Yeah, some of them are very deliberate, and other times it just looks like scribbled to garbage, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it looks like a mangy fur cape.
Yeah.
Looks like he's skinned a bear and has been wearing it for 6 months and hasn't bothered to wash it.
A little bit of subtle shading below the necklace is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. It's gonna be a lot of just like painstaking little lines. I'm here for it. Here we go.
I think the thing with both this painstaking little lines and the scribbling, drawing every single hair, is like this is a really good example, I think, of drawing really general first and getting specific only where you want the detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something I was noticing when I was doing watercolor, and it might be a painting thing, but especially here too. Like you can see the spots on his arm where there just is no color. Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
To really make those highlights pop, and that's hard. That's hard to do, especially with the same stuff with the Martin Burrow. Is like knowing when not to color something is just as important, especially if you're using just two-tonal shading like that.
Yeah.
Because when you're painting, like all those shadows and things come in after the fact. It's like, oh, I'll just add the shadow layer later, but like, oh, no, you gotta think about that stuff. I'm gonna give him a little bit of some little musculature here, just to really make this look super weird.
Abs.
Yeah, we're doing rugby some abs today.
Yeah.
I love it, like the quiver.
Colby.
Like the quiver is just shading. Like there's no.
It is just a flat gray shape.
Yep.
There's a tiny bit of looks like maybe erased in highlight on some of the arrow fletching, but like that's it.
I can just fill all this in.
I'm trying to do too much too fast. I didn't get enough of the torso, and now everything's off. Okay, start again.
I really do love this two-tone way of doing arrows. We really only draw like the really lightly the upper fletching, and the lower fletching is just dark.
Mm.
I really like that.
Same.
All of this should just come to the same value. So slam this on in there so that we get that nice dark color. I love the way Frazetta draws knees, which are like just for grabbing all those little bumps of the musculature and the bones. Like, oh, it's such a high level of like anatomy know-how.
Yeah, I love to study anatomy, and I still don't know any of that.
Yeah, knees are weird because like they have a floaty bit, like they have a piece that moves around.
Yeah, like it is basically a point like this, where this is the upper knee and lower knee, kind of really breaking it down.
Yep.
It does this. There is the patella, which sits on top of the tendon, going like this and this. A great presentation. There we go. Yeah, the tendon wraps.
No, I think you had it right. It's actually it is protruded out a little bit more than that. Like,
yeah, but it is. But where I had it, there were so many tangents, it was hard to read.
Burning Palace, hello. Things I do now. I'm at school, right? Okay. Oh, you're at school right now. Gotcha. I'm in health class. That's boring. Well, pay attention. Health is important. That, or make sure the class likes, follows, and subscribes. That's that's important too.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, we're learning about knee anatomy right now.
Well, I mean, I erased it.
And then your teacher's gonna come over there and be like, "What the hell is this little weird goblin thing on the screen? What's happening?"
It's a lesson in comparative anatomy. We're learning about goblins.
Goblin anatomy. Armless goblin anatomy.
How does goblin anatomy compare to human anatomy?
Not well.
I mean, it's all theoretical, but a couple of things we can carry over. Elbows are also really weird, mostly because the forearm bones are key.
I'm not a big fan of the cross hatching. Like you can see right here where everything is parallel. All of the shading lines are parallel. I love that. But then right here, I honestly feel like this has got sloppy. He's just like, fuck it. Threw it in there. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. That's part of the issue that I'm having with cross hatching is like that's actually a standard practice is going one way and then to darken it you go the other way. I always feel like it's sloppier in my mind, and so I very much like this style, and it's something I want to get better at. So I'm gonna do that.
You know if my red line is in your way at all?
No, you're good.
Got to get some color into my sketch. Start again. Drawing day for me. It means I might not end up with anything I save, but you know, that's okay.
Yep, that's fine. How are you doing today, Burning? Hope you're doing well.
How are you doing?
You're very welcome to join us if you like. Basically, rugby doesn't have this part of the body. What I've done is I've taken the head and just stuck it right on the abs.
Yep.
Rugby is 100% abs, apparently. Doing all right. Would join, but I have a lot to take care of after lunch. Nah, no problem. Hope you have a good day anyhow. Get your work done.
There.
Hope everybody else is doing all right. Whoever is having a better week. My week started kind of poop and got better, which is good. I'm feeling pretty good. I think Monday we'll probably start doing our workout regime again. Be down for that. How's that feeling for you, Druid?
Pretty good. I mean, this is week 3 for me, which is usually the hardest week, right? Body's just super fatigued. So it was really rough at the start of the week. I had to take an extra rest day, so I'm gonna have to make that up the weekend, I think. I haven't done my workout yet today, but I'm feeling good enough that I know I can do it. So
That's good.
that's good. Yeah, I probably won't hang out in this Discord as long as I did yesterday, just so that I can make sure that I get that done.
Yeah, I gotta get some work done today. I'm gonna try to finish the book up today, send it off. Hopefully get some nice feedback of like, hey, this looks great. Okay, have fun. Here's a paycheck. And then I can start working on other stuff, which I'm super excited about.
That looks great. Here's your paycheck. That's like deal.
It's always nice when there's no revisions and everything looks fantastic. It happens from time to time. I say that I can start working on other projects, but really what that means is I have to do my taxes next week. Then it's project time. Non-stop project for days. Well, I guess all my days are project days. Very rarely do I not have a project day.
This will be a project you want to work on right now instead of the project you have to work on right now.
We'll give him the buff chin. Old Rugby, so strong. Such a strong boy. I think part of the problem I have with my art is my scale, because like, let's be honest, this image is probably, I'm gonna guess it's on an 11 by 17 page. How big is it? Let's find out.
if not bigger.
Consistent with the color sketch by Frank Frazetta is usually 3 by 5 inch, preliminarily drawn on the sketch sheet. No, he drew so small.
What? Oh.
Oh no, they're big.
I've seen a lot of his sketches that I think were very small, but
It looks like he had a tiny sketchbook, but then like these kind of like illustrative sketches are pretty big. They're on full sheets. So I should start doing that. I should start giving myself more space. I like how this started with you weren't gonna follow the the art at all.
yeah, well.
And now I have a weird hobgoblin.
I
I don't know what happened here, but somehow we switched concepts.
Oh well. Plan ever survives the first 5 minutes of combat.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it like that either.
Logan Cole, hello. How are you? Excuse me. I didn't mean to cough. That was unexpected. They call me Rugman Conebarian. That's pretty funny. I think that's a good sketch. I'm gonna go ahead and call that, and then I'm gonna start something else. I really want to hit these black spots though. Like, I feel like these darkers can be much darker.
Like your cross hatching here on this this back tab of cloak better than Frezetta's.
Interesting. I think I'm going to call that. Oh, never mind. Some of what I needed to do today has just been shifted to tomorrow, so I'm still going once I finish editing. I could join you. Yeah, all right. We'll hang around for a little bit while. It is almost noon. Probably hang around until 12:30 or so. 12:30 or 1. I'm just hanging out today. You know? People want to talk about D&D, they can talk about D&D. If they have art questions, we can talk about art questions. I want to fucking draw these hands. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I think I've been kind of spoiled by cartoons, specifically in respect to hands. Because like this guy is masculine as fuck. Like he is just raw dude muscle. He's got very small hands. Right? Like you don't have to go the Hulk or like Mr. Incredible style.
Yeah.
Giant hands to Popeye to really exude that just like wiry strength. Frezetta did that really well. Like everything is like hard and muscular, but still soft and elegant, and I love it.
And his ladies, oof, like so much femininity. But not weak or I mean, a lot of what Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote were helpless women, but
That's true.
like I distinctly get the impression that helpless women were not Zetta's thing.
So I think there's a. I feel like a lot of the pictures that I really like are the ones that are. Frazetta did this great thing about capturing a moment, which I struggle with. I just do. And so it was always like in the midst of something, but never like, how do I say? Like, what's a good example? Art print number 145. It's just everything is in action. Everything is going. I think he had
Still life's always action shots.
Yeah. And a lot of the women he drew, he had a really good eye for like, I don't know, I say like terror, which is kind of the thing. Like, I'm trying to find the picture I'm thinking of. It's like two figures fighting a giant snake.
Like his. Are you talking about just how emotive he made faces?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the stuff he drew was less about like these people are powerless. They were all like these people are all in danger. Like death is very real in all of these pictures, and it's like shit. He did a lot of like horror comics or horror covers and sci-fi covers, and so a lot of those did have that like save me moments, which was just kind of indicative of the era.
For sure.
Trying to find a good example of it here. So many good things. Uh-oh. Any bad experiences with D&D players or DMs? I mean, not worth sharing. Yeah. I mean, I have a very open policy about communication. Like, if you are having a bad time, like, you need to talk about it. Talk about it with your DM. Talk about it with your players. Yeah. I got a power gamer and a rule lawyer that can be a little difficult. Yeah, I mean that's always I think the starting point of things. But like I said, for my side of it, I usually go into games knowing if people want to be power gamers, and it's actually kind of fun to set up games for them. The problem comes when people don't want to be power gamers. It's like, hey, you two shouldn't be playing in the same game. we need to set up different games for you guys. So, not everybody can do that, but yeah, not all characters are meant for all people or all games.
I had a couple of bad experiences. They always come down to a lack of communication, either from me as the DM, or from the other player, or from me as a player to my DM.
Look at that beefy arm. Damn.
I wish I had triceps like this.
Right? I read about a guy who hosted a D&D session in a full room of nude posters, like on the walls. Yeah, I mean, that's not appropriate. That's kind of the, like I said, you should know what your team is comfortable with, and if that's not what you guys are into, then it's, you know, it's okay to say, hey, I'm not here for this. I don't like the place where we're playing. I used to have a problem with players that smoked too much. That was really annoying because they come over to my house, and then every like 10 minutes or so they'd be like, "Oh, I need to take a smoke break," and it's like, cool, okay, so we'll pause the game and everyone can go do their thing, and come back. And it's like, that was something we had to talk about. It was disruptive to the game. But yeah, I don't have too many bad experiences because, like I said, I'm very open about that kind of stuff. Like, I think a lot of bad habits come when people don't talk about things. A lot of bad experiences, and just let stuff fester. And this makes me upset, but I'm not going to talk about it. It's like, well, then you're going to keep being upset. But there is also a level.
It's a little bit different if you have a somebody at the table who's not willing to listen.
Yeah.
Like, and when that happens, you need to actually like sit down with them and tell them you need to behave as part of the group or you can't play with the group.
Yeah.
But most of the time, everybody who's there wants to play. They want to be part of the group, so you just got to make sure you talk about it.
Yeah, I think people are also scared of like, well, if I yell at them, then they won't play D&D anymore. It's like, no, D&D is usually better than bad D&D. So maybe I'm privileged to be able to have lots of options for D&D, but I don't know, man. If something makes you miserable, get out of there. It's kind of true for most things in life.
Definitely head too small. Definitely head too small. Muscles just grew on me.
There's also something that I rarely play D&D with people that I just don't know. Usually it's like, hey, let's hang out, let's have dinner, let's play games together or something, and then talk about a D&D campaign. And if that sounds like something that everybody wants to do, let's play D&D. Like there's a build up to it. Like you gotta like. So I've introduced a few people to D&D. One of my friends was like, "Hey, my brother-in-law wants to try D&D, so can you just DM a game for us?" And I was like, "I guess." Like, he's like, "Yeah, I told him you just set it up and it'd be fine." I'm like, "That's not really how D&D works," because this person did not play D&D with me either. But it worked out. It was fine. It was really fun. But that was kind of like me just getting thrown into a group that I didn't know and hadn't talked about with beforehand. And it worked out. It worked out okay. But this was also like someone who I've been friends with for a very long time, so it wasn't like I was super put out by having to DM a game for him at random. I think there's people like those like D&D horror stories. Those are pretty popular on YouTube. Yeah, I just don't have them because I don't like putting up with drama. So it doesn't affect me that much. I once had a character. I had a guy decide he wanted to play a horse. It was really funny. I really liked it. But we started playing, and when I finally introduced him, I was like, "Okay, so this horse starts talking to you." And the player who he was talking to like looked at him and looked at me and like caught on to what was happening. And he was just like, "I'm out." And he just walked away from the table because he didn't want to play with a non-serious character. And I'm like, "That's legit. Like, you can totally do that. That's fine." It sucks, but like not everybody wants to play just like really bonkers fantasy games and not have things make sense. Like, everybody's expectations are a little different. Mind you, that the horse ranger with a human companion was really fucking funny. Like, it was a good character. It worked really well. Effectively, he just rolled his stats like he would normal, and we used the companion stats for the human. So the human was just really, really dumb. And whenever he wanted to do anything, I would have him roll animal handling to see how well the guy's like, "Go in there and buy us some potions." And then he was like,
Oh, man.
What can I say?
Honestly, I think I probably would have been like the guy who walked away from the table.
Yeah. It's really funny. But it's alright, Like I said, not all games are meant for all people.
Yeah. Played in a couple of games where there was one person who really didn't take anything at the table seriously, didn't take any of the DM's storytelling or preparation seriously, didn't. Their character was built as a meme, and therefore acting like having his character act the way his character would act was inherently disrespectful to every other character at the table.
Yeah. Yeah, someone just trolling the game.
Yeah. That's like That is really frustrating to me. I think if everybody is making a troll character that can be really fun and funny, but
Yeah, Kevin the Necromancer did that once. He was just like, I want to play a chaotic, stupid character who just does whatever the fuck he wants all the time for no reason. And about an hour in, we all just stopped. We're like, this isn't fun for any of us. Like, are you having fun? He's like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. I'm like, yeah, but like, it's not fun for any of us playing. And he's like, huh. And he thought about it, and he switched characters. And we really ended up loving that campaign that we played after that. But like, some people like that stuff. Like the wild magic. I'm not a fan of wild magic because it's not. I'm not in it for the lol randoms, you know.
Yeah.
And some people are. Some people really, really enjoy that, and that's okay. It's just you just have to know your audience, know your players, see what people want to play.
I am really in it for the creative problem solving. I love getting put up against, or essentially, mind puzzles and having to gear a way out of something. I personally especially like it when the DM sets up a puzzle that not even they have a set solution to. I'm not saying that it's fun for me to play in a game where a DM tries to make puzzles that are impossible to solve, just that it's fun to solve puzzles, especially with a DM who is open to creative solutions.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. Like where if I have a solution for a puzzle, but someone comes up with something more clever, it's like, yeah, that's how this puzzle is solved. Great job. Like that's the beauty of D&D, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
Everything is changeable on the fly, and that's why like there's an argument to be made that it's I don't want to say it's better than video games, but it has the ability to be adaptive on a level that video games don't. And I think that's why I enjoy it. I love playing video games. I love playing video games with my friends, but D&D has that extra level of creativity that can happen, and I really, really enjoy that.
Yeah. So basically, when D&D is done well, it's more immersive than video games.
That's kind of what I was getting at. It'd be very much more immersive than video games. I made this arm way buffer than it was originally. Anything up front because I've seen joke characters developed in awesome individuals through the story. Yeah, that's fine, and I agree with that. I think it's okay to be lax about character generation.
Yeah. Okay to play a Scanlan.
Yeah. Or a horse.
A horse.
But yeah, like the funniest thing was like the character that Kevin the Necromancer made was his name was Common Archer. That was his name. He's like, I'm just some random dude who has a bow, and he just would shoot people. It's like, you realize that you're gonna get murdered, right? Like, and to his credit, that was like really early on when we were trying to like, hey, we play a lot of Pathfinder. You want to try D&D? And he's just like, not really. Okay, fine. And I made this character. He just wasn't really into it at the time, and now he is. It's fine. But like at the same token, when he started DMing, he ran into the same problems with his players because they've never played D&D before. but they had all played games together, and so they very much went into it in Skyrim. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna punch this guy in the face, and he's like, yeah, like he kind of got a taste. I think that's like a natural progression of things, right? Like, hey, play this game with me, and then you dick around until you start getting into it, and you're like, I want to DM, and then all of a sudden you see people just dicking around, and you're just like, oh, what's happening? I feel it. Like, it's just the natural progression of
put
like,
so much work into this. Why aren't they taking it seriously?
yeah, exactly. And I'm sure when I started playing D&D, like, I gave my DM a ton of shit, and I've gotten a lot of it back over the years. So yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing to like let people, try and do dumb stuff and get their characters killed and burn down a village. It's like, yeah, this doesn't have to be Skyrim. It could definitely be whatever you guys want it to be. Trying to look at the way he's choosing to draw his lines. You can see a lot of the shadow lines here like follow the contour of the thing it's shading.
Yeah.
Like up here. Like these little curved lines as they go around the body. Back here where it's just like general gradient, it's kind of all parallel. Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, I'm here and ready to join you, but I'm not sure my cat is ready to let me join you.
Well, it's up to you. If you want to jump in, you can. Otherwise, I'm feeling pretty happy with today. Like, we can keep going, we can call it. Doesn't matter. Couldn't deny the episode inside. There's a little bit of this is my worry with my new low-power vampire dark fantasy campaign, that everyone goes murder hobo mode. It's happened before. The solution to find two roads as it were... Wait, what? Wait, hold on a second. I missed some things. Let me look at this. My favorite time the players got creative was when there was a Feywild where logic doesn't matter. Oh, that sounds fun. Sarcasm. Right. They needed to do a ritual that had to be done at a crossroads. Their solutions was to find two roads as if it were a dating sim, convince the roads to meet each other. Nice. That is pretty funny. My worry is that my new low-power vampire dark fantasy campaign that everyone goes for murder hobo. It's happened before. Yeah. I mean, I always write in that as an option, right? Like, my stance has always been, if your world is set up well, then murder hobos are fine. The downside is it can change your story, right? So if I had a world set up where essentially the core concept was that dark forces were amassing dragons' souls. that's what the players were kind of like. They were seeing it happen around them, and they were slowly becoming the heroes and the champions of solving this strange thing that was happening, or at least it was following them, right? Like everywhere they went, the same kind of stuff kept happening. Halfway through that campaign, Kevin the Necromancer decided to kill one of the other characters and flee, and he did. He left, and he's no longer in that campaign. So while that's still going on in the world, I wrote a new campaign for him that was tangential. So it's the same universe, it's the same scenes, like the same towns, the same area, but he's wanted from the law. Like there's a huge band of paladins that are like constantly trying to chase him down, and he has to interact with the world differently. But also, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the dragons. Like, he's just like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. And that's fine. Like, that sucks because my story is now derailed. But the other campaign can, like, touch on it from time to time. And I wrote a new story plot for him. And he still has to deal with some of the key components to it. But it's for different motives, right? Like, that's the important part. Part of the evil system that was happening that was causing these dragons to be assaulted is a direct conflict to him because he wants to be this powerful necromancer, and there's already this large evil powerful necromancer that kind of rules over the country, right? So he's got competition now. So the story hooks can still be similar, and you can still drive them to the end of your point to deliver a story, but people do. It's a collective storytelling device, right? So just because your story is playing doesn't mean that the players can't add their own chapters. And I like it. I really like it. I might take a quick break real quick here. How are you feeling, Vernon? You wanna jump on in, or do you wanna just hang out for today?
I think just hang out. This cat has been very uncooperative.
Sure. Druid, how are you feeling? How's your
I'm not happy with it, but I'm not going to be happy with it, so I'm good to end whenever.
I'm pretty. Look at that. I did go a little bulkier, but like, hot damn.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome.
Hot damn. Did okay. I did okay. That's it. That's a study. Like, that's how we do it. You just you bust out a picture. You draw a weird goblin. Draw some beefy man arms. That's how
I love
we do
rugby thunder thighs.
Rugby thunder thighs, yeah. Let's see, where did I put all this stuff? Put all this stuff out there. Get all this stuff going. Cool. Well, thanks for the tip. I'll think about it. Yeah. No problem, Marius. Just that's what I would suggest. Like, if they want to play an evil campaign, make it an evil campaign. You know, it's hard to shop. Guards are always on the lookout for them. Signs start popping up about, hey, there's an evil group of people murdering people. Maybe don't trust them. That's always been my solution for murder hobos, is to just make the game harder. Like, if they feel like they're powerful enough to just do whatever the fuck they want, the game's too easy. The game's too easy for them, and they need to be challenged. Like I think not like just smack them down, but that usually happens when a game is too easy for the players. Is my thought.
My solution for to curtail murder hobos, if that's not the type of story I want to run, is to try to start the party in a place where they have like inherent emotional baggage. I ask players to come up with family members as part of their backstory, and I literally start them in their starting town.
That's something
where they have.
Yeah.
Weeks.
I like that too. Usually what I'll do, I used to do this all the time, is when I started a campaign, I would ask each of the characters what their profession was. Because that way, like, I would put them in town and be like, yeah, you come here all the time to sell your wares. Like, you know some of these people. And then all of a sudden, if someone starts talking shit, it's like, hey, you get the fuck out of my town. Right? It gives them the home field advantage from the start.
So, like, for my players specifically, and this is not going to be true for everybody, but for my players specifically, and they go murder hobo, I find that it's usually because they don't feel invested in the world. So giving them some sort of baggage carry around the world helps them to feel invested.
Yeah. Okie doke. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us on stream. Thanks for giving me time off this week because I felt like crap. Hopefully, coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have some more Why You Should Play videos out. We're going to start looking at some video games ideas that I want to start branching out with. I might even have a new video type, but I think that'll be a lot more development and talking and hanging out. Definitely check us out on Twitch. We're going to be back on Twitch hopefully next week. Next week or the week after, just like all the time. So we'll usually be there 3 times a week on Twitch, and then we'll be here on Wednesdays and maybe Fridays. So, yeah. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. Check out the Patreon member. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Let's have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I had a murder hobo team the first game I ran and literally had the town just swarm and kill them. That's one way to do it. That's definitely one way to do it. All right.
Guards maybe makes more sense, but
Yeah.
yeah, full time works too.
Yeah, the whole town is just like, how dare you? All right. Bye, everyone.